All right. We are live. Okay. All right. Perfect. 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 Okay. So, guys, I meant to put a jacket on over this, but hey, stranger things have happened. I'm still here. Actually, I'll get a jacket later. But I did get a question um, from a young lady, and I told her that I would answer her question on this live. So, give me 1 second. I am going to get to her question because I told her I wanted to answer it on live because it was a loaded question. And I thought it was really good that she asked that. So I want to just thank her, uh, Eve, for asking that. The question was with the dual career agent, how do you fit in quality time with a spouse, kids sport, cooking, meal prep, cleaning, etc. if you work 9 to 5 and then 5 to 9? I'm curious what systems everyone is using to succeed at work and family. I just thought this was a great question, a very vulnerable question. And I wanted to thank you for asking that because that is something that if you're dual career, it's going to be a struggle. And I'll be honest with you, if you're not dual career, it's still a struggle. For me, I would say the first thing you have to understand is that your 9 to 5 is a funding source. You have to be able to use it not just to fund your business ventures, but your life as well. So it may mean becoming the administrator of your home and your business first, using the funds from your job to fund it. Let me tell you what I mean. One of the things that when I got into real estate that I took off my plate was cleaning. I hired a cleaning person. Yes, I did. And I still, to this day, years later, have the same cleaning company. And they come in every 2 weeks and they do the heavy cleaning so that I do obviously have to clean up in between them, but I don't have to do like the dusting. They change the sheets and do all those things because my time is better spent growing the business. They charge about 25, $30 an hour to clean, and it is worth every penny because the time that they're cleaning, I'm actually working. And I have clocked it. Like before when my house was bigger, it used to take them about 4 or 5 hours to clean. Now that the house is smaller, it probably takes them 1 to 2 hours. However, what I have learned is in that 1 to 2 hours, I'm super focused on my lead gen. So while they're doing that, I'm building my business. And I remember one time that I got a listing appointment and met with that client and closed them. And I made, I want to say like $9,000. And I said to myself, I'd much rather give them $150 to clean the house so I could go after the $9,000 check. See, we have to switch our mindset because CEOs don't think of how can I get everything done. CEOs think of how can I leverage out what I need done for somebody else to do so that I can have my time and focus on dollar tasks. There's this quote I heard from, I want to say it was Mary Kay. She said, "Don't spend dollar time doing penny tasks." And we do that all the time. One of the worst things you can be, especially as you are starting the CEO journey, is a person that wants to save money. You have to be smart about your money. Yes, you have to lead from profit, absolutely. But you have to think about what is the highest and best use of your time. So, like I said before, in my old house, it took them 5 hours to clean. It is much more advantageous for me to spend 5 hours lead generating, pay them 150, $200 to clean my house, because in the 5 hours that I spend lead generating, I can make $50,000 if those things come to fruition, if I nurture them. I am better off spending my time doing the dollar thing, which is lead generating. See, what happens is when we try to do everything, we're actually selling ourselves short because if I sacrifice the lead generation time to do the cleaning is not going to make me money. See, CEOs lead with the ability to make money first. That means I'm chasing profit, not trying to save a dime or a dollar. So, of course, you have to balance that. That's why I said you have a job. The job is the funding source. The job, it should be structured in such a way where, okay, let's just say you get a bonus. I'm going to not use this bonus to buy a Louis Vuitton bag. I'm going to use this bonus. Let's just say cleaning is $150 every 2 weeks or $200 every 2 weeks, $400 a month. And I don't know, when I was at Blue Cross, we had really good bonuses. I remember one year our bonus was $30,000. So let's just say for this year, if it's $400 a month. So that's 408 $4,800 for the year. I'm going to put aside $4,800 for the year to have my house cleaned. And when they are cleaning my house, I'm going to, from the time they walk in the door to the time that they leave, I am going to be lead generating and growing my business. So then if you make, like I said, the one check that I made, it was like 8,800, so $9,000, that covered the whole year of cleaning and then still some. And then the same is true conversely for your kids in sports. You have to partner with other moms. You have to start to think leverage minded. If something comes to me and I have to do it, it is never my first thought if I'm going to do it. My first thought is who else can I get to do it? That is how CEOs think, and that is why they are CEOs, because they don't try to do everything. It is basically something that can be a problem for somebody to make that transition, because especially if you're an employee, you're the one that people get to do stuff, to making the transition to be the one to actually calling the shots and getting other people to do stuff, but you have to make that transition. So even in my business, I don't show houses that much. I hire a showing agent. I would much rather give you 10, 15, 20% of my commission to go open doors. Why? Because I don't want to be in my car driving all around the city, opening door, doing. I will gladly give you 20%. So, well, I ain't gonna do 20, probably 15. But if the commission is 10,000, you get 1,500, I get 8,500. Absolutely, sign me up like yesterday. And here's the other part: if I'm using a showing agent model, I could show houses to 10 people and still be home or at my office lead generating. See, this is the mindset. This is why you have to have systems in place, tools to amplify them, and then think in terms of leverage success through others. So a lot of people will say, well, if you're using a showing agent model, but what is the showing agent getting from that? The showing agent is learning how to show houses. I have a model that I'm teaching them because I'm showing them how to leverage out their resources to other people. I'm helping them understand how to grow their business. So now I'm actually pouring into that agent more than I would if I didn't have that model in place. So we have to begin to think about our businesses differently. And this is where the CEO mindset comes in. I guarantee you, the CEO of Apple does not know who cleans the floor. They do not know where the stuff gets bought from. They don't know any of that. Why? Because that's above their pay grade. They hire people to do those things. And here's the big thing. They don't hire people because they're too busy or they don't want to. That's just not the highest and best use of their time. If you are going after a $10,000 commission check, unless you have something to do that's going to make you more money than that, that is your highest ROI, which means everything below that gets leveraged out. So when you say meal prep, okay, so can you invest in a meal prep service? Or for me, it only takes me 4 hours to meal prep. I'm up on Sunday morning before the sun comes up and I'm meal prepping. I did that. If you didn't see my meal prep, I did that. When I was like heavy in my weight loss journey, I meal prepped. And then I learned something fabulous because I got tired of meal prepping, if I'm being honest, and I got tired of eating out of containers. I got tired of it. I learned how to cook dinner in the air fryer. The air fryer, baby, has saved my life. I could cook a whole chef's meal in 15 minutes in the air fryer. I make Parmesan salmon, I make filet mignon, I make lobster tail, all of that in the air fryer. And the great thing about the air fryer is I can put it on and go back to doing work while that stuff is cooking. Put a little sauteed vegetables in the on a stove real quick. That take about 5 minutes, and boom, dinner is ready. Because and it's ready and it's fresh. Because like I said, I got tired of like microwaving meals and stuff like that. So I want you to start thinking differently. This is why the Bible says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. It's not what you're doing, it's how your approach to it. And let me make sure I answered the whole question. You said, what systems are they using? Leverage, anything that allows them to have leverage. And this is why people create things like meal prep services, like car ride services. Partner with somebody, get you. And when I say partner with somebody, I have a friend and her daughter is 19, somewhere around there, but she has a license and she picks kids up from school and drops them off at sports. find you a teen like that, shoot them a little $30 every week or so, put gas in their car. This will help you. And then that way, when you pull up to the game, you pull up to the game when it's starting. And you have to build in moments. And here's what I need you to understand if you're dual career. I've said this before, but I want to make sure I say it very clearly and that it's understandable. God, if you are faithful over 1 to 2 hours a day, God will make that 1 to 2 hours a day more productive than the 8 hour day. Because remember, to think about the lady with the widow's mite, people were giving big stuff. She gave all she had. See, if 1 to 2 hours is all you have, baby, God will bless it. And I'm telling you, be faithful. The Bible says if you are faithful over the little things, a lot of people think, well, what difference does 1 hour make? It's a lot when it's mixed with faith. Do you know how much faith it takes to compare yourself, comparing to a realtor that has an 8 hour day? How much faith it takes to say, I'm going to show up with this 1 hour, but God bless it. God look at it with favor. Do you know how much faith it takes to do that? And God will look down to heaven and bless you abundantly, more than you could ever ask, think, or desire. We have to stop thinking limitation and start thinking abundance in every area, but especially where our efforts are concerned. Let me give you another example. So I'm from up north. So a lot of homes where we live at or where I was raised at were brick. And I lived in this house and the house was brick, and down the side of the brick was like almost like the bricks were falling apart because there was a steady stream of water coming down. Now, the brick is much stronger than the stream of water. However, the water was consistent and the brick was still. So it doesn't matter how strong the brick was because the water was consistently dripping on it. It broke the brick down because the brick was still. Now, if the brick had been moving, the water wouldn't have affected it. But because it was still, the water being consistent broke it down. Here's what I'm trying to tell you. Whatever obstacles are in your life, they're still. When you are consistently moving against those obstacles, you can break them down. They will fade, they will crumble, they won't exist. And here's what I think is more powerful than anything. If you begin to really lock in on a system and build your business around 1 hour a day, when you start making money, you won't work 10 hours a day like these realtors because you'll already know what it was like to flex it and work it with 1 hour a day. You won't accept the 10-hour work day. Realtors work too freaking much. They need to learn how to rest. This is why we create systems so systems can work for us. When I am putting people in my database and I put them on smart plans and they're moving forward, they're getting emails, I'm getting contact with people without having to touch it. I am actually moving my business forward and it's not costing me anything but system setup. And when I say system setup, when I set the system up, it's not costing me anything other than to do that initially. And this is why you have to have a business that runs on systems, because if you don't, you're never going to find enough time to get everything done. There is no such thing as balance, there's counterbalance. So I'm going to tell you this. There are times when you're going to be doing great in business and you're going to feel like you're lacking at home. There are times you're going to be doing great at home and feel like you're lacking in business. I have never felt like, oh my God, I'm firing on all cylinders and everything is equal and balanced and everything is great and kumbaya. I always feel this pull in either direction. So, like tonight, I'm getting right in this live. My kid is singing at a concert. I gotta go. I like to be in the bed by 7:45, 8 o'clock because I get up and go to the gym at 4. I'm gonna be at this concert probably till like 9 o'clock. And then when I come back, I'm gonna be tired, which means when I get up in the gym for the gym in the morning, I could possibly be tired. It doesn't matter. I'm still gonna get it done because there are going to be days like that. And that's okay. Every day is not like that. But here's what I know. I have this rule and you can implement this as well. And I used to call it an OSHIT checklist. And it was, if my whole day goes to crap, what is one thing that I can do to move the business forward? God doesn't need a lot. He just needs us to be faithful. The Bible says that it is required that a steward be found faithful. And then Proverbs said that The faithful man will abound in blessings, and the blessing of the Lord maketh rich and add no sorrow. God is not looking for you to be perfect or spend a lot of time on your business. He's looking for you to be faithful, consistent, to have integrity. Join my Bible study on Mondays at 8:30 in the morning. We talked about this. You could go back and watch the replay. Here's what the Deuteronomy 8 and 18 says. God, it is God that gives you the power to get wealth. It's not you. You're not working for money. You're working to build a character that money can rest in. See, if God gives you money without character, you won't be able to sustain it. What I'm working toward in my business is being consistent, is being faithful. When I create systems, I create a system because they gave me something to be faithful over. I was able to build it and be consistent with it. So hopefully that answered your question, Eve. And I'm going to probably do a video about this where I can go into a little bit more detail. But I want to thank you guys for joining. But I'm going to say this before we leave. I have a database to data bank challenge coming up in January. I'm closing the registration once we get to either 50 registrants or December 31st. So please register. It is going to teach you how to use your database to build your business, because if you don't have a lot of time, you need to be able to convert them through a database strategy. So we're going to be locked in on that. I will actually put that link here. Now that I think about it, I actually put that link here. Um, in this, but I want you to just understand that God is for your business and that you can do it. It doesn't matter how much time you spend on it. So I want you to get that into your mind. And I appreciate you guys stepping on here for the live stream. I'm going to get going so I can get to this kid their winter concert, which they have every Tuesday for the next couple of weeks. So I'm going to keep these right at 15 to 20 minutes. But if you have any questions that I can answer on here, definitely put them either in my inbox on socials at Cheese at Cowan, or a comment on YouTube, and I'll get to it. Thank you guys for hopping on. See you later.